With that, I've covered all I want to in terms of this new swap. However, that doesn't mean I'm done with this idea. I did have other thoughts when working on this video. If you all want me to, I can commission more artists to interpret what their jogresses could be. I'll only do it if you all show interest. Holy shit! What's going on? REKBCQ signing on for the long-awaited video, the sequel to the partner swap response. So as I showed in that clip, I said I would make a sequel if you all showed interest. As shown in the images I showed you, holy cow, you guys showed interest. For a bit of reference beyond those images, this channel was at 57 subscribers before that video was released. At the time of writing this, the channel is at 224 subscribers. That's 3.9 times the amount of subscribers. So, because of that, I'm quitting YouTube and taking up a career in competitive knitting. Kidding. I made the dang sequel. However, you have to make sure to keep that support coming. If you don't like and subscribe, I'll be forced to go off the grid in Alaska, never to be seen again. For a quick recap, these videos are giving my opinion on Karn's partner swap video, as well as suggesting my own ideas. Last time we chose new champions for Wormmon and Veemon, as well as creating a new Jogress and Mega for them. Today we'll be tackling the second critique I gave. I wanted the Jogress pairs to stay the same. TK with Cody and Yoli with Kari. Not for plot reasons though, I just think the pairings are more interesting for the Digimon you would combine. To contradict myself, however, I do think his choice was reasonable. The mons he chose for the Jogresses worked well. I won't cover those here since they aren't important for the video. I'll only cover the champions he chose. Plus, all I cared about was making new Digimon to satiate my OC addiction. First off, I'll cover all the champions that will be used in this video. TK has Digimon, Cody has Buraimon, Kari has Darkmon, and Yoli has, well, Ankylomon. I know that some of the people who watched the first part are thinking, wasn't the whole point of the last video that you didn't want the champions to be the same? They would be right. The problem is I looked into it, and I'm also not sure of any good alternatives. There are a few that share similar themes or design features, but none that really fit in my eyes. However, I will throw out one option that I did consider. It will probably confuse you though. That would be Baboongamon. While Baboongamon on the surface has no similarities to Armadillomon, other than being based on a mammal, I actually did like it in terms of a partner for Yoli. I see Yoli as a free spirit. I think this is indicative of her original partner and her outfit in the digital world. Flying is a symbol of freedom and doing what you want. Not wild like Davis, but willing to do your own thing without the fear of judgment. I personally think that apes also fit that vibe. They may not be able to fly, but they do whatever the heck they want. So I can genuinely see it as a good fit here. Plus, the idea of Yoli riding on a giant monkey like she was a cowgirl is really hilarious to me. What ultimately stopped me from picking a different Digimon was the concept. I came up with a good way to combine Ankylomon and Darkmon. I decided that a good concept was more important than changing the champion. Now getting into the designs proper, I worked with the wonderful artist JEDIGIMON to make these Digimon. While I gave him the concepts, he was the one who brought them to life. Starting off with TK and Cody, I based this Digimon's design more on the partners themselves than I did the dynamic of the two Digidestined. This applies for Yoli and Kari too. I decided to focus on the lore and inspiration for the Digimon. With that in mind, I introduced the Jogress of Buraimon and Digimon, Righteousmon. This Digimon was designed with the intention of combining both the samurai and knight aesthetics. In terms of the vibe of this Digimon, it was meant to look like a master swordsman. Since both Buraimon and Digimon are both described as novices or inexperienced, I decided the Jogress would be the opposite. Think of how Dragon Ball handles fusion. Even two children can become far more capable in battle by combining. The fusion ends up being far stronger than the sum of their parts. I chose to represent this as a skilled gladiator. This is also how I combined the two types of swordsmen. By basing design after another type of fighter, the Digimon could pull from aspects of both samurai and knights to make a cohesive character. That sounds counterintuitive, but I think the design speaks for itself. The inspiration for the name is just that it matches the Digimon's personality. Creative, I know. It sounded cool, okay? Don't judge me! As for the lore of this Digimon, it heavily pulls from the Gladiator inspiration. To start off, Righteousmon is captured by the soldiers of a kingdom in a far corner of the digital world. There, he is forced to fight to entertain the citizens of the land. He stands undefeated for years until he finally orchestrates a plan to both free himself and overthrow the ruler. Organizing all the other slaves and warriors captured by the ruler, Righteousmon is able to put an end to this cruel event and free all of those who are imprisoned. However, since he still loves the art of battle, he chooses to keep the arena. Only now the warriors volunteer to fight and there is no killing. Moving on, let's get to Darkmon and Ankylomon's jogress, Lusitanimon. Starting with the name, I took inspiration from the Lusitanian warriors. Existing in Spain and Portugal during the 2nd century BC, these warriors were known for being the originators of guerrilla warfare. As well as this, they were ironically pacifistic, only fighting when they were attacked. As I'll get into, this fits the personality of Lusitanimon quite well. The design of Lusitanimon is an expansion on Darkmon's design inspiration, being Joan of Arc. Of course, Joan of Arc is known for being a fearsome warrior and devoutly religious. This juxtaposition between her normal behavior and her behavior in battle was what I was pulling from for this Digimon. Darkmon shows more of Joan's peaceful side. Being an angel Digimon, this ties in directly into her religious background. However, Ankylomon is far less graceful and fights in a more unorganized manner. Since these two Digimon cover both sides of the coin, I decided to directly pull those traits for Lusitanimon. Getting into the physical features, you can see where my design concept came in. Ankylomon already has natural armor on its body, so I figured in the jogress, the Digimon would change the body armor into an actual suit of knight's armor. To keep Ankylomon's reckless fighting style in place, the Morning Star on his tail was turned into a chain mace Lusitanimon carries. Darkmon's influence on the design shows itself in multiple ways. For one, her body type was what was used for this design. As well, we have the wings in a cloth garment similar to the one Darkmon has. In more loose terms, aspects of biblical angels were added into the design, as you can see in the bands around Lusitanimon's wrists. Since biblical angels have a far more imposing and threatening presence, I felt it was appropriate to include aspects of them into this ruthless fighter. Getting into the lore of this Digimon, Lusitanimon is currently an apprentice of All-Force Digimon, training to become a royal knight herself. While already a skilled fighter in her own right, she lacks grace and control in battle. Because of this, she can often get herself into trouble when she gets too focused on one fight, losing sight of her surroundings. Well refined in her day-to-day, she lacks discipline. Because of this, her training is less to hone her skills, but her mind. She fights an uphill battle as the majority of the Royal Knights have already deemed her unfit to join their ranks. However, All-Force Digimon saw potential in her, and promised to train her so she may get the opportunity to join. Now, Lusitanimon faces an internal struggle as she wants to improve while not losing sight of who she is. While she is making progress, her mindset holds her back. That's all the info I have on these two. I love these two personally. They feel like counterparts to each other, having similar values while having differing personalities. Now, before we end off, I want to ask you all something. I have more ideas for Digimon videos that don't necessarily connect to official media. As a kid, I drew a lot of Digimon. I had my own partner, a Gabumon/rival equivalent, evolutions for all of them, and so on. From this, I have multiple videos I want to make from them. For one, I just want to show off the original drawings. There are a lot that I thought were fun, despite not thinking that they could work anymore as actual Digimon. As well as that, I've been commissioning artists to help me redesign some of the Digimon I made. I didn't initially intend for them to be for videos, but over time I've wanted to talk about them. Would you want to see those videos? I would talk about the original drawings over the course of 1 or 2 videos, while I make a series out of the ones I revamp. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. You can also go to my Twitter account, @REKBCQ, to see some of them. Like I said, I made them for my own enjoyment, so I didn't worry about posting them. There are still some to be made, but if you like the idea, I'll show them off in videos first. With all that addressed, before we go out, I would like to once again thank JEDIGIMON for helping me with this amazing art. I might have referred to the design concepts as being my ideas, but in terms of execution, that was all him. Like I said, His social media will be left in the description as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified when new videos are uploaded. This is REKBCQ signing off.